Okay guys, so this is the second part of the tutorial. Once you have done the first part that corresponds to criteria B, this is the second part that corresponds to criteria C. So we continue with the data collected. So here we have two different types of data. We have the quantitative data. Quantitative data is the data that you collected measuring the volume absorbed. So here what you need to include is a table. So you need to insert table, okay, a table with the trials 1, 2, 3 and brands. Brands A, brand B, and brand C. Okay, brand A, brand B, and brand C. And here you need to include the volume for each trial, for each brand, and also you need to include the precision of the measurement, that is plus minus 0.5 milliliters. Okay, so you need to include this for each brand. That is the precision of the measurement. And then we have the qualitative data. We have the qualitative data. And qualitative data refers to observations made during the experiment or about the materials or anything you consider important to mention. That is qualitative data. So once you have the data, okay, you do the graph. Okay, that will be the third part, graph. So you need to insert a graph, a bars graph, like this one. We have three categories because we have three different brands, and you need to include, okay, so you need to include the title of the graph, and then you click on the graph. So here, here you put the data you obtain, and you click on the graph, and then when it says diseño, agregar elemento de gráfico, okay, you need to include the titles of the axis, okay, and okay, you need to include the x-axis, and also you need to include the y-axis. The y-axis is the volume of water absorbed, and the x-axis is the brand of material. Once you have the graph, you have to do the analysis of data. And here you need to talk about the data obtained, if there is any data that is out of range or strange, or a data that you think can be wrong for your experiment, and also talk about the trends and average of each material, okay, in the data analysis. And finally, here you should include the calculations for the volume of water absorbed. Okay, calculations for the volume of water absorbed. So how do you calculate the volume of water absorbed? So volume of water absorbed, it's equal to final volume minus initial volume minus final volume, and that's the way you calculate the volume of water absorbed. And you need to include in the final result the error, okay, the error that will be plus minus 0.5 milliliters. Okay, that's the error of each measurement. So once you have finished with the results, with the data collection, you need to do the conclusion. Okay, so the conclusion. In the conclusion, you need to validate your hypothesis. Validate your hypothesis and talk about the results and the application of the materials according to the absorbance, okay, to the absorbance, or absorption, to the absorption. And also you can include a personal opinion about the materials, okay, and possible uses. Okay, that will be the conclusion. The final section will be the conclusion and evaluation. And in the evaluation, you have 3 sections. First section, you need to talk about the method. Talk about the method. Okay, talk about the method. If the method was correct, the steps adequate, etc. Second thing that you need to talk about in the evaluation is it's about the limitations. For example, the time, the graduated cylinder, the precision, the tools, and at the same time you talk about the limitations, you talk about the improvements that you can make to change those limitations, okay, or to improve the method. And finally, you need to talk about the future research, including experiments that could be done using the same method. For example, you can talk about experimenting at different altitudes. Example, comparing absorption in sea level against Ciudad Campo, or 600 meters over sea level. Also, you can compare different temperatures, different temperatures, summer and winter, doing this experiment in summer and winter, and others that you can, others that you think about. For example, compare different materials than the ones that we use, or other liquids, or other experiments that we could do using the same method. And finally, once we have done the evaluation, we finish with the bibliography. Okay, the bibliography, you need to use APA citation. Okay, APA citation. So we will review APA citation, but here in the guidelines of the lab report that you can find in Padlet, here you have some examples how to cite using APA. For example, normally you put the name of the author first, and then the age, the year of of publishing, the title of the book, and the editor. That's for books. And then for articles, the same pattern, but you need to include the volume and the pages where you can find the article. And also magazines, the same pattern. And for internet links, you put the name of the author of the article in the link, the title of the article, and then the link where you can find the article. So that will be basically the structure of the lab report, and that will be the second part of the lab report that corresponds to criteria C of the lab report. Okay, criteria C that you can find in the rubric. So that will be the structure of the lab report. I hope this tutorial helps you to understand better how to write a lab report. And if you have any questions, or you need help when doing the lab report, don't hesitate to contact me or ask me in the classroom. Okay, thank you for your time, and I hope you do a great job doing this lab report. Bye bye.